Hello, everyone. Welcome to Crown Knowledge Radio. This is Jordana. Thank you for tuning in with me again today for another energy check going towards the middle part of May. And just coming back in to let you guys know that, I'm still working at it. I'm still here. This is Jordana. This is Crown Knowledge Radio. If you have not checked out Crown Knowledge Radio, check out Crown Knowledge Radio on Spreaker.com. Check me out. Those are the archive shows. Spreaker, Spreaker, Spreaker.com. Archive shows going all the way back to, I believe, 2010 when the show first started with myself and the God Rashad. I'm hoping that at some point down the road, the God Rashad will be rejoining me once we're through this shift of energy, whatever is happening, which is why I'm on the air today, just to do an energy check, to check in, to see, we're midway through the year already, if you guys can believe it. Like, June is here. Like, it's right around the corner. We had a whole lot of snow in the state that I'm in, and it kind of dragged out the winter until like Easter. It just seems like, I don't know, everybody says, well, time is moving fast. For some it's moving fast, for some it's moving pretty slow. But again, if you want to check out the archive shows, you can go there. I am on, I'm posting on Instagram, I'm posting on YouTube, I'm posting on Substack, and I am posting on Stage 32 right now. Looks like I'm shadow banned most places. I think I may be permanently banned from TikTok for whatever reason. But individuals say, hey, when you are a TI, a targeted individual, those things will happen. You will see, some of your posts will be flagged for apparently no reason. They'll say it's because of guidelines, but sometimes it's not. I am talking about a subject that has been pretty controversial, pretty new for some, but becoming very familiar to others, and that is gang stalking and being a targeted individual. And I'm just telling my story from my perspective about what is happening. But today's energy check is about vibrationally and spiritually what the targeting is, and I'll get back to the devil in the details. If you haven't seen that, I've posted that. I will also get back to targeting tactics. If you haven't checked out the ones that I've already posted, check those out. Crown Knowledge Radio on social media. And if you have not checked out nuances, devil in the details, targeting tactics, and I believe I just posted one, Predator and Prey. The truth, the truncated truth and weaponizing lies, or it's the other way around, weaponizing lies and truncating the truth. Awesome post. It was a channel, it was a download. And the reason why a lot of the targeting and gang stalking is happening, they have to paint a narrative about you so that their tactics will work. And that's very, very important to whoever needs to hear that. Again, I've been asked, well, why are you, what's really happening? Like, I don't think they're fully understanding what's going on over on stage 32, but I am telling my story. This is a 100%, 1000% true story from my perspective about what is happening to me as a targeted individual. And if you want to hear more detailed information about targeting and gang stalking, they have that over on Substack. Substack.com. I am also Crown Knowledge Radio over there. TargetedJustice.com. Shout out to them and all of the individuals over there that are telling their story, their truth, and their circumstances and experiences regarding how, why, when, and what targeting and gang stalking is and why it's happening to them. Unbeknownst to me, at that particular time when I started telling my story, hidden in dark corners on Crown Knowledge Radio, I did not have a personally full understanding, because again, this rabbit hole is deep. And it varies from person to person depending on how, when, why, and what is happening in your particular situation. But if you haven't heard the last post that I put up, Devil in the Details, about telling your truth, campaigns, that's what it is. So the campaigns that happen with gang stalking, and the one that I just recently posted, the Noise campaign, that's part of one of the tactics that they use to target you. And you may hear a little bit of that in the background. They were desperately trying to stop me from recording, which is nothing new. They do that every time I try to post. Well, Dordonna, how do they know you're trying to post? Number one, my devices are hacked. I've been told y'all that months back, maybe years back. How can they see what you're doing? I do believe there are hidden cameras in my home, which is, what am I going to do? I'm not going to hire somebody to come in and look for hidden cameras. I'm not. If I was a trafficker of some sort or some type of DURG person, it would be different. If I've done some type of criminal activity, it would be different. But I honestly don't care. That's not what's important right now. What's important is you telling your truth. That's what's important right now in this particular energy and this particular vibration. So I've posted, they have a Noise campaign. Start yours. Start your Noise campaign. Tell your truth. Tell your story, your experience, and you will see and hear a lot of that over on Substack. Substack.com. Those individuals over there are loud and out loud with their truth and telling it the way that it is happening in their situation. So why this? We're getting to that, and I've posted a lot about that. Who? Yeah, well, it depends on your situation, how you came into this particular type of energy, what happened, who started it, why do you think it started with, why do you think you were put in a situation like this in your life? That's your story. And as long as you don't have a dirty hand in play, you should be telling your story out loud to everyone and anyone. Social media, well, they're calling us crazy, and we're telling lies. That's not even a part of the narrative anymore, because first of all, you kind of drift into defamation of character, which is illegal, and on top of that, mainstream news is telling these stories. They may be telling them in different ways, like certain individual found hidden cameras in their house and they're trying to figure out, or there are mainstream stories where unfortunate incidents have happened regarding or behind targeting and gang stalking. So if you're wondering why I'm telling my story, and I'm telling it often, and I'm telling it this way, that's part of it. The other part is it's illegal. It is a crime. And a lot of the language that you'll see over on Substack or here on Substack is non-evasive surveillance, non-criminal surveillance. They'll give it a fancy name in order to get in front of a narrative that might paint a different picture. It is stalking. The last I checked, stalking is illegal. Premeditated stalking is illegal. The last I checked, vandalism is a crime of some sort. Tapping, illegal tapping is a crime. That is criminal. And I've gotten into certain devices and energy devices as well. That is downright criminal. Like I said, I don't have the scientific specifics behind what a weapon of this type or a device of this type is used for. However, the way that it is being used in my situation is criminal. That's a crime. That is assault. That is assault. Some would say, even with the DEAD, it's easy for me to say LY, force, unauthorized, without your knowledge, and in some situations and circumstances, sexually assault as well. So the whole narrative put down behind whatever the foundation that this was built on, and the idea that it was initially created for is one thing, but what it has transformed into and being spread amongst, and again, this is not just the U.S. This is not just being leveled against Americans, and you'll find that out when you go over on Substack. This is not just the United States. This is in other countries as well, as a tactic, some say for control, population control. Okay. Thinning, quote unquote, thinning out the herd, if you will, and you'll hear that language. That was amazing to me. I'm like, if we keep eating certain foods, we're going to do that anyway. We've seen a lot of the mass SHOOTING. We've seen that. We've seen it. We've seen it happening, and it's still happening right now. Every 15 minutes, a child is in danger. Every 25 seconds, a female is in danger. Every 2 to 3 minutes, someone's light is taken out. So what is the thinning of the quote-unquote thinning of the herd? I don't understand. There are things that are happening, some by happenstance, some not. Not everything is coincidence. Not everything. So what am I saying? Pay attention to your surroundings. Not everything is, that just so happens to be, or it is coincidental, or, I keep seeing this same vehicle, this same license plate number, this same individual, these same people, this same scenario, this same pattern, this same activity, this same issue, this same information. It's not all coincidental. It's not all happenstance. Not all of it. So pay attention to your surroundings. Okay, so with that being said, that was a long intro for The Crown right now. But thank you again for tuning in, listening. Those of you who are listening, I see you listening. You're not responding, but you're listening. I see the listens. I see the likes. I see the looks. So, but that's good. This isn't for the masses. It's not for everybody. It's for a discerning ear. And I am telling my story because I know that it will get to the ear or ears that it should get to. The people that are now listening are now understanding a little bit more. And again, I'm not the only one telling this story. So, I can't make this up. Again, the number is 250,000 plus the last time I checked. But check the numbers. Why is this happening? Who is this happening to? Who created it? Check out the alphabet organizations. Where did it come from? How did it initiate? And what is it being used for now? And you will be completely surprised. If you haven't been watching the mainstream news stories about our alphabet director. That is, wow. I was shocked. I really wanted to believe, and I'm still hopeful that someone will be put in place that understands. They say, well, you know, it's other stuff out here that you know, the organization should be concerned about, and gang stalking is not at the top of the list. It's just not. Is it even on the list? Do they understand that we get that their eyes are not open to the situation? Do they understand that? Probably they do. But because of maybe a monetary value, it could be serving a different purpose. It could be serving a purpose for good if they so choose to. But right now, that is not what I'm hearing. What I'm hearing mostly is that it's for vengeance, a vendetta. What do you call it? Vigilante type information or behavior. I'm going to take matters into my own hands if I have the funds to do so. I'm going to get back at this person because my feelings were hurt, and I don't appreciate that. A lot of people hurt my feelings and I didn't appreciate it. Like I have posted before in my show, I have often felt like, ooh, I want to get back at this person. But because I serve the Most High, well, what do you mean? Do you mean God, if that's what you want to call it? Well, what do you do? Do you believe in God? Of course I do. You got to be a special kind of stupid not to think that you just popped up at Sam's Club somewhere. Shout out to Sam's Club. I'm not advertising to anybody, but I'm just saying, you know, Costco's, BJ's, somebody, you just popped up at the grocery store and somebody said, okay, this is a human being. Where do you think you came from? Why do you think you're here? Why do you think you have the intelligence to open up your mouth and speak, or open your eyes to see, or even breathe in the morning? Who controls that? Well, there's some people out here that's saying there are men, just regular men, men, quote unquote, that want to control all of that. Be careful when you try to play God of any type. So with that being said, I am on this morning for an energy check, and shout out to the late great, Dolores Cannon. I was listening to a very interesting video that she's posted probably some time ago. And if you don't know who Dolores Cannon is, you can pretty much spin around again and throw a rock, as I say, and you will hit any of her YouTube videos that have been posted. So shout out to Dolores Cannon. And I listened to a very deep and in-depth, it is called 3 Hours of Wisdom by Dolores Cannon. And if you haven't listened to it, I suggest anybody, doesn't matter if you're being targeted or not, doesn't matter if you're being gang stalked or not, doesn't matter if you're on the right side of things or the wrong side of things. I think anybody who really needs to understand what is happening right now, because that's what we're all seeing right now. TikTok, YouTube, even if you're still on Facebook, I don't happen to be on Facebook, but anywhere social media, that's the one common denominator that we are all saying pretty much in a resonant voice, what is happening? And for me, it seems as though she's given some clarity to some things that I kind of knew. I haven't quite heard the way that she put it, but it brings up a lot of new information to me. It sparked a lot of new information, new direction, new energy. If you're just looking for a new, just a different spark for the creatives over here on Stage 32. When I tell you she just opened up a well of fresh information, and I'm sure that video is old. It probably, I don't know, I didn't look at the date, but it probably came out some time ago. So if you're just looking for a fresh spark of information, Dolores Cannon's 3 Hours of Wisdom. It might be named something else. I'm not looking at it right now, but that's basically it. You'll see it. And she's basically giving a profound understanding of the human experience here, or the spiritual experience of humans here on this planet. So remember, we are spiritual beings first. We are not humans first. We are spiritual beings first that are having a human experience on this particular planet that has been called a school for the most part. Is that what I believe? I want to. I really do. Some people say it's hell. Some people say that. Some people say, we're looking for hell and we're already here. This is the earthly experience. Some people say we volunteered to do this. That's what Dolores Cannon believes. I don't know. I'm just saying it's an interesting perspective, and the whole entire video that's posted is interesting. It's very interesting. She dives deep into some areas that I had briefly looked at, and just, I'm still trying to, at that particular time, I'm still trying to figure my way through the energy, and she was spot on. In some of those areas and I'm like, that's what I was looking for. So again, those of you who are on social media and you want to get a more profound understanding, even some of you may even change your spiritual knowledge and understanding of what's happening on this planet. A couple of things that she said, again, this is 3 hours. 3 hours. I fell asleep listening to it and woke up listening to it this morning. So today is May 18th, 2026, and I'm just now finding this. So if somebody says, I heard it before, and I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to those individuals who are still asking that profound question of who are we? What are we doing here? Why are we here? What is happening? Why am I going through what I'm going through? Why am I, there they go, guys. They're working on that throat chakra, because I'm about to start channeling here in a minute. So let me take a sip of my energetic coffee here. Thank you so very much. But they do use the directed energy device on my throat chakra. Myself and some of my, a couple of my family members, unbeknownst to them. But I recognize it when I see it and I feel it. But that particular knowledge and understanding, I have changed my perspective slightly based on her information. So based on my energy check today, what's the energy check? Again, why are we here? And a lot of people say, this is a school. We came here to learn. And a lot of people say, that's BS. Because, what about the horrible, MURDRS, I didn't spell it correctly, but I don't want to. What about that? What about the awful, horrible things that are coming out in the news? The uncovers and the discoveries and the unveiling and the files and all of that. People came here for that. My understanding is probably no. There's no way. Because that's what I thought. I even thought about it. There's no way I came here for this. I stood in a line somewhere and volunteered and raised my whole hand, my arm, elbow straight up in the air. No. Absolutely not. Do I think that's what I did? It's possible. It's possible that every single human being existing on this planet, in this earth plane right now, asked to be here. Because I used to think, if a child is born into a home that's particularly rough could mean anything. It could mean baby botherers. It could mean, chemical dependencies, other mental health issues going on in the family, just violence. It could be, and you don't want to bring a child into that. When I considered having or not having children, I considered, first of all, the father. And second of all, why exactly would I bring a child onto this planet? Well, Donna, the one of the holy books said, be fruitful and multiply. Was it specifically about children? Everybody? Because there are other ways to be fruitful and multiply. Anyway, that's a whole nother show. I'm not going to go down that road right now. But I'm talking about the atmosphere and the experience and your personal experience, because you were a baby once upon a time. Do you think you asked to be here? I think, and I had to ask myself that profound question this morning as I listened to Dolores Cannon. So it did make me question a lot of things. If you guys have not heard this video, I urge you, if you have 3 hours in your day, we got 3 hours to scroll. We got 3 hours to post. We got 3 hours to TikTok. And I ain't picking on Polo TikTok, but we got time to selfie and record our food and our bathroom habits. I don't know. But if you have 3 hours to just be deep for a minute, it might change your life. I don't know. I'm not saying that, this is a prescribed pill that we have to swallow, but it might just mess with your shift a little bit. It might speed it up. It might slow it down. It might change your direction. You never know. But it really made me think. And as you know, if y'all listen to my posts and, my recordings, thinking that's my love language. That is my love language. Even if sometime what I'm thinking may not make sense to you, somebody somewhere thinks it might. Or they may think it's funny. It's okay, but think for yourself. For once, think for yourself. It doesn't always have to be somebody else's thought. But there are certain things that will trigger you to have some original thought. That's where we're going with this energy. That's where this frequency is going. You have original thought. You just either too lazy to use it. You don't want to use it. You think somebody's going to call you crazy. And they may. I've been called that and then some. They may say, oh, you're not making any sense. Nobody would ever do that. Why would you say that? That sounds weird. It sounds funny. I've never heard that before. And all that might be true. 2 or 3 things can be true at the same time, based on the person that you're talking to. If you're talking to someone who has no intention of expanding their thought, you definitely are going to sound crazy to them. Like, you know what? She be saying stuff and it just, I don't know what she over there taking. I don't know what is she drinking something? Like what is happening? To someone who they don't even want to dig around the dirt that their feet is planting on, let alone go deep. Yeah, they don't. So individuals who have no intention of having any other thought than the thought they had 35, 40 years ago, and they're still thinking the same thing today, those are not the people you do not cast your pearls upon swine. Y'all know y'all have heard that before. Don't do it. You are wasting your time. I have hundreds of people in my family. There might be 2 who may have hundreds. Now, y'all know them kind of families. We got nieces, nephews, great nieces, and great nieces and cousins, second cousins, play cousins, second cousins removed on our grandmama's side, so on and so forth. I have hundreds of people in my family. 2, maybe 2 people might even slightly understand and say, yeah, something is off. Something doesn't feel right. Even if it's just that little bit lets me know they know that there is something more to what we're doing, even just as a family. We don't even have to go that deep. But change your perspective just a little bit. Try to listen just a little bit. Try to listen to something other than what people are telling you on FaceTime and Facebook and whatever else you're on. Try to listen to something else other than. Try some different information. Try to change your perspective a little bit. Look at what you're doing from a different perspective and see if you still feel the same way about it tomorrow. If you do, then that's your God. If hate is your God, that's what you're rocking with. If you wake up every morning and you're still on that same channel, you're still on that same station. You don't want to change the station. You like the flow. You like the vibration. The music is what you want it to be. You like that same song that they put in rotation at least 4 or 5 times a day. I know we don't listen to the radio like that anymore, y'all, but this is Crown Knowledge Radio. I stay on a different frequency every day. But if you like that same channel, that same station, then that's your God. That's what's ruling you. That's what's ruling your thought. That's what's ruling your mind. That's what's ruling your language. If you are listening to the same person and you are still in the same spot you were in 30 years ago and you have not varied from that spot, not once in the last 35, 40 years, you have not veered from that spot, then that is your God. That is what's controlling you. Confirmation. Confirmation twice. So if that is what you are listening, that's what's in your rotation every day, every minute, every month, from birthday to birthday, from Christmas to Christmas, from New Year to New Year. You are listening to the same shit from the same person over and over again. It could be that voice in your head. Some of us need to tell that voice to shut the, STUF. STFU, yeah, I had it back, but you know, the FU too, that part too, but STFU, because sometimes you could have put that record on, that recorder on, that whatever it is that's going over and over and over and over, and you look up and it's 5 years, and it's 10 years, and it's 15 years, and that same song is still playing. That same voice is still in your head. That same information is still on your agenda every day. You might want to get some help. You might want to seek help. I suggest listening to this 3-hour, I did not stutter, it's a 3-hour video of Miss Dolores Cannon, the late, I believe, Dolores Cannon, and she is speaking in depth. I was just going to say a little bit about, but it's actually an in-depth, her rabbit hole, and she'll say that. 40 years she went down this rabbit hole. 40 years. And it just got deeper and deeper and deeper. And one of the most profound things that I've heard during that 3-hour session is that we are looking for some type of complete, some type of goal. I'm there. I've reached it. I've won. Yay. I've got this and now I won. We're looking for some type of finish line. Like there's once I get here, I'm good. Or once I get this, I'm okay. Or once I have this in my hand, I've won. I got the trophy. I got the prize. Or once I get this, and that's not why we're here. Basically is what she's saying. There is no finish line. There is no prize. There is no winner's circle. Because once you get in the winner's circle, guess what? You got to get out of the winner's circle sooner or later. And then what? Once you get your prize or what you think might be the prize, then what? What's after the prize? Once you get with that thing that you are knocking down mountains and maybe even running over people to get. Once you get it, then what? Once you have it, whether it's the bank account or the notoriety, fame, fortune, look at the celebrities that are falling like dominoes in our face. And I mean falling like dominoes in our face. I'm not the only one seeing this, am I? I can't be. That would be weird. If I'm the only one seeing these people either fall or, and it's not even about failing. There is no failing. It's the experience of what you need to learn while you're here. So if you feel like you're failing, you still have some shit to learn while you're here. And if you think you're going to go on and not come back, you might have to come back here a few times. to get it, according to Dolores Cannon. You might have to come back. You might have to keep coming back. You've probably already been back a few hundred times. You just don't remember. I know I have. Let me just raise my hand all the way in the air with my elbow straight and say, I know I've been here a few times, but I have the gift of clairaudience. And clairaudience means that you can hear stuff that you shouldn't be hearing. Let me just put it that way. I'm not, I'm not saying anything deep. You can look that up anywhere. And I told someone this some years back. I'm like, how do I know this? I shouldn't know this. I've never taken classes on this. I didn't take any college courses on this. Nobody gave me a book to read on this. And my co-host in the past, the God Rashad, he's saying if you still need a book to figure out your original thought, there's something wrong. Shout out to all the authors. I'm an inspiring author myself. I'm not saying that you're wasting your time writing a book. I'm saying that your inspiration is coming from somewhere. Most of the time, it's not a book. For you to write your book, your inspiration came somewhere that was not a book. Now, I'm just saying, okay, let's move on from there. This energy, though, that opens up, and sometimes it just takes a word. I'm not saying the whole 3-hour video of Dolores Cannon is going to give you what you need and give you the answers to your life. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is find your authenticity. Actively look for it, because that's part of your narrative for how you move, how you shift, how you shape your human experience here on this planet. Actively look for your authentic self. Who are you? Because if you're listening to somebody else tell you who you are, you're still losing. You're still losing. If you are allowing someone else to tell your story, because people love doing that. That's what we live for on this planet, right? To tell other people's story. Who's telling yours? I mean, yo nasty, deep, dark, I'm going to take this to my grave type story. Who's telling that? That thing that you did 2, 3, 7, 12, 10 years ago that you don't think nobody knows, somebody knows. That illegal, criminal thing that you do that you don't think anybody is seeing, somebody sees it. Somebody's helping you do it. Because you hold a title or a position of authority, you feel like they're never going to know. No one will ever know. Somebody knows. And it might not be the person you think or the people you think. Well, I did this, but I hid it, and ain't nobody gonna ever know I did that. Somebody knows. Well, I used to do this stuff back in the day, but I don't do that no more. You think anybody cares? People have dug up stuff that I did in 75. I just dated myself, but still. I don't even know how old I was in 75. People have dug up stuff that I did 10, 12, 15, damn near 20 years ago. People don't care. As long as they can get the dirt. If they can get some dirt, they don't care if they have to dig to China to get it. They're going to dig it up. And they're going to dig it up like a bowl of SHYT, and they're going to put it in their hand and smear it all over everybody. Because, that's a human experience too. That's what they can, the SHYT spreaders of the world, that's what they came to do. Spread shit. I don't know why I spelled it and then said it, but it is what it is. But come on, y'all, really? You don't want to know why you're here? Most people don't. They don't want to hear it. They don't want to open up their mind to those things that are kind of dark and hidden and underlying, because they really don't want to see the pus and the nastiness and the decay and the stench and the stank that comes out of their shit. But they're more than happy to dig all the way down to the sewer to get your shit. More than happy. Matter of fact, they're going to recruit people to come on board and help them dig up your shit and give them, I don't know if they're using gloves. I think they're using their bare hands and just spread it everywhere. Everything they touch, everything they see has got your shit on it, and they're going to spread it around. They're going to spread it around everywhere. They're going to make sure everybody that sees or smells your shit, that they walk away with the stank on them. They don't care. Let's do it. Let's do it often. Let's do it on a regular. And we ain't dig deep enough. Let's dig some more. But if you even walk past them and smell some shit on them, that opens up a whole nother can. Nobody wants their shit uncovered, right? That's why I uncover my own as often and as much as I can. There ain't much, but everybody got some shit somewhere, right? Especially the people that's trying to dig up yours. Those are the people who really try to hide their shit. I've never done. I had someone tell me in a religious building, we'll just say it could have been a church, a mosque, or whatever, but I had someone stand 10 toes down inside of a religious building, right in a building that quote unquote is supposed to be sacred and divine, and tell me that they've never committed a sin. It was a female. This is the honest to God truth on my mother's grave. Somebody stood in a quote-unquote supposedly supposed to be sacred building, divine space for people to come and appreciate the Most High is the way I look at it. You can call it whatever you want to. You can call it church. You can call it worship. You can call it fellowship, whatever it is. At that particular time when I was participating in that type of behavior, this person stood and looked me in my face and said, I've never committed a sin. I've never committed a sin. I don't have, matter of fact, their exact words, quote unquote, was, I don't have any sin in me. Well, some people say, none of that's relative, and that's true too. And the way that person felt, they felt like the things I've done is not that bad compared to most. I used to think that too. And then there are people who be like, you know what, it could be a small sin, it could be a big sin. If you are of an adult age and you've done something without somebody telling you to do it, and and it was on your own accord, I believe it was intentional. I'll leave the judgment to the Most High, because that's where you get that from. We don't have the right to judge each other here. Well, the courts do they? Because sometimes they're right and sometimes they're wrong. But I will say that the Most High has a perfect track record. They'll say, well, what about people that lost their life and they never committed a crime? People right now locked up, that's locked up, for something they never did. What about them? Is God correct about that? That's their experience on this planet. I mean, I can't, it's not that I'm washing my hands and saying, oh, well, c'est la vie. I'm saying I am positive that they're going to learn something. The Most High put them in that position because there's something else waiting for them. Well, what about the people that lost their life? That was their commitment. That was their contract. So do I feel that way about most people? Absolutely. And again, if you have not heard a different perspective on why you are here, if you think you're just here to hate, and that's your contract, think about it. If you were here to just be a doormat and let people you have had so many people walk on your back, you got so many devices and stuff stuck in your back, arrows, whatever they are. Is that your contract? Is that why you're here? Do you think so? Do you want to change your shift about why you're here? About who you keep company with, the people that you have around you, the people that are speaking into your life. What are they speaking? Are they speaking love and joy? Are they speaking positivity and uplifting? Are they speaking, progress and moving ahead and doing something different and being a light for somebody in their life? Do you have somebody that speaks that into your life? Because if you don't, you need some new friends. If you always have somebody gossiping in your ear, yeah, you know what? We need to do this and we need to do that, and I'm gonna do this so we can do that. Help me do this, and I'll give you something to do it. And we're gonna do this to so and so and such, and we're gonna make this person fall. We're gonna make this person. If you have those type of people speaking into you, you need some new friends. You need some new people around you. They say, well, Jordana, you don't have no friends. You've said that. Yeah. Message. I have people that I don't mind pouring into. The Most High gives me something at a particular time for a particular person to pour into that person when they need it. I just had to do it not just a couple of days ago, but that's my contract. It's not yours. If you like doing dirty, underhanded, low-down, grimy shit, then that's your contract. Ride it out. But do you have the opportunity to change your shift? Is the whole reason why Dolores Cannon did the session that she did. 3 hours of wisdom is what they call it. I like it. Did I get everything that she was saying? No. Did I agree in my spirit right now? Maybe I have to look at it a different way, but as far as agreeing with everything in the 3 hours that she said, no. But I listened to the whole thing and I gave it my undivided attention and I gave it my spiritual frequency so that I could pick up what belongs to me and what does not. Because if it sits weird in your soul, either one, you still have a lesson to learn, or two, you just don't understand the information. And that's okay. It's not for you. You like sitting in the shit that you dug up. That's where you like to be. And that's okay too. You can be there. And especially if you feel like nobody can stop you. Ain't nobody, who's going to stop me? That's the best place to be. Because you're going to learn your lesson one way or another. Be careful when you're trying to do God's job. Yeah, because nobody does it better than the Most High, that's for sure. But I am thankful and grateful for you guys tapping in and tuning in with me today. Just an energy check, just a quick energy check on how we're doing almost midway through the year already. I've probably been outside 3 times, it feels so cold. But with that being said, the world's not going to stop turning for you. Doesn't matter what you do to someone else to try to get them to stop their life. Remember, you have to stop your life to do it. Be careful where you waste your time. Because it's going to reflect in your life as well. While you're wasting your time trying to affect and in effect stop someone else's life, block, hold, hinder, or take from someone else in their life, remember, you have to take time out of your life to do it. This has been Crown Knowledge Radio. I am Jordana Raffia, and please don't forget Spreaker.com, Instagram, Substack, and Stage 32, Crown Knowledge Radio. You can hear that everywhere. Check out my archive shows, and I will be back with more of The Devil in the Details, and we will be back with more of the agitation campaigns of gang stalking and targeting. I'm looking forward to doing those, but please, if you got some time this coming weekend or through the week and you got 3 hours to kill and you just stop scrolling for about 3 hours. That is not even a guess at this point, because we scroll for longer than that. Stop scrolling for 3 hours and check out Dolores Cannon's 3 hours of wisdom. You won't be sorry. Thank you so much, and I will return later. This is Jordana. Thank you guys for tuning in. Goodbye.